E salve a tutti ragazzi e bentornati sul canale, rieccoci con The Raven Remastered e continuiamo la nostra avventura. C'è stato un omicidio, hanno ucciso la Baronessa, dobbiamo capire chi è l'assassino, perché teoricamente l'assassino è ancora sulla nave.
An antique wooden globe. If Galileo hadn't asserted himself back then, this would be a flat disk now.
Fidati, stanno in terra piattisti, stanno. Purtroppo Galileo si rivolterebbe nella tomba. Allora, scendiamo giù e vediamo un po' che cosa possiamo fare. Centro medico. Oh, qui allora, aspetta. Vediamo se c'è qualcosa da esaminare qui. Bacheca.
An evacuation plan? And some tips from the doctor for avoiding seasickness, sunburn, and the like. And here, a schedule of activities. A drink with the captain, a shuffleboard competition on the forecastle. That's about it. A real barrel of fun.
Esamina la pianta.
A pitiful attempt to make the interior of the ship seem less dreary. A bit of paint on the walls would have helped more, especially since a plant won't survive long without daylight.
Esamina.
There are little stones in the flower pot.
Scusa, che ci faccio con le pietre?
Not only does the poor plant have to make do without sunlight, it doesn't have any soil either.
Ma... Ah, prendi qualche pietra.
Really? What am I supposed to do with stones?
Vabbè. Ragazzi, si sa bene, magari tiriamo addosso al ladro.
Although, sooner or later.
Le ho prese? Sì. Oh, non si sa mai.
A model of the Lydia before it was rebuilt. It used to be a freighter. The wide hallways, the cabins, and the saloon were added later.
Poi sali le scale, sali le scale. Di qua si può andare? No, quindi da questa parte.
An alarm like this one was set off yesterday. This one hasn't been set off. The security seal is intact.
Esamina la porta della cabina di Legrand. Ma non posso andare oltre.
That is Legrand's cabin.
No, aspetta che entra. Magari prima di entrare da Legrand andiamo dal dottore.
Come in.
Hello, Dr. Gebhardt.
And there's the next one.
Excuse me?
You want something else from me, don't you?
I'm afraid I do.
What a first day at work. Well?
Allora, inizierei con analizza il corpo.
What's the result of your examination of the victim?
She's dead.
I didn't make you work all night long, Dr. Gebhardt.
She was shot. Point-blank shot. Probably with a pistol. It seems like she was lying in bed. The shot struck her heart. She died immediately.
One shot?
More were unnecessary. And we only heard one shot, no?
And there's just one entrance wound.
Just one.
Il proiettile.
Have you already removed the bullet?
Did Legrand send you? What is that Frenchman's problem? I already told you. I will get in touch as soon as I have it. That is also what I told the constable, who he kept sending all night long, once I finally got rid of Legrand himself.
Did he look over your shoulder?
He probably wanted to take the scalpel from my hand and hack away himself. But this is my surgery, and I will not let amateurs interfere with my work.
That's understandable. How much longer will it take?
I have just finished. Send my regards to His Majesty.
Sta un po' nervoso qua
Thanks.
il dottore. Gocci tranquillante. Questo sarà il fatto dello champagne che abbiamo bevuto.
I am told that I was drugged.
That's how it seems.
What can you tell me about it?
Me? Why should that be my business?
Haven't you analyzed the glass?
No, I haven't. The inspector said he's the better chemist. I let him do it. That way I could at least concentrate on the body.
Baronessa drogata. Da quale bicchiere ho bevuto? Saluta. Baronessa drogata?
Do you think the Baroness might have been drugged? She was very tired and unsteady when Legrand and I
Sì, era
saw
mezza
her.
ubriaca.
Yeah, I heard about that. I must have just missed her in the saloon. And without having seen her myself, it is hard to make a diagnosis.
Of course. Can you say something about her general health?
She was quite overweight, and the butler said that she suffered from diabetes. Despite that, she hadn't visited a doctor for several years.
Doesn't sound good.
Happens more frequently than you might suppose. Some people are scared of doctors and pay with an early death. It is possible that the Baroness wouldn't have lived much longer anyway.
Da quale bicchiere ho bevuto?
Do you know whose glass I drank from?
What do you mean?
Captain de Conti handed me a glass of champagne. But where did he get it?
I don't know. Did you ask him?
I'm just asking because you were also in the saloon when the champagne was served.
Yes, but I only entered the saloon a few seconds before you did. I didn't manage to get a drink myself.
Which, in retrospect, is lucky.
Ah, you're right about that.
I think that's it for now.
No. That is it for now, then, and later. I'm going to lie down for a few
Madonna,
hours.
stai calmo.
Can you tell that to your boss?
But
Madonna, con quanta violenza.
could I at least have the key?
Absolutely not.
But if we have to examine the victim again...
Then the esteemed inspector knows where to find me. In my cabin. In bed. Good night, Constable Zellner.
Adesso magari possiamo andare a vedere l'ispettore Legrand.
Come in.
Salve, ispettore.
Zellner, are you ready?
Good morning, Inspector Legrand. My head is pounding, but I think I'm okay.
Chloral hydrate.
Hmm?
That's why you have a headache. I found traces of it in your champagne glass.
Droghe.
And this chloral hydrate?
Is a tranquilizer. Can be dissolved in alcohol. The effect begins in minutes and lasts for hours. Who gave you the glass of champagne?
Io ricordo il capitano, però... Dai, il capitano. Anche se non è... Mo' mi fa venire i dubbi. Però dai, andiamo col capitano.
I believe it was Captain de Conti.
If believing were enough for us, we'd have become priests, Constable. Be a policeman and find out for sure.
Understood.
Circostanze del crimine, cassaforte. Circostanze del crimine.
What have you found out so far?
The Baroness was shot in the chest at close range. We heard the shot. The murderer quickly fled the cabin and dropped the murder weapon over the railing later. A simple story so far.
But why was her cabin door locked?
Exactly. If the murderer wanted to make it seem like a suicide, he'd have shot her in the head and left the gun at the crime scene.
And if it was murder, why did he go to all the trouble of locking the door from inside? And how did he manage that anyway?
Especially since we arrived just a few seconds later and didn't see anyone near the cabin.
Something doesn't make sense here.
No, it doesn't, and it's driving me crazy.
Arma del delitto, ladro gioielli e anche assassino. Sono due domande interessanti queste. Vabbè, arma del delitto.
Did you find the murder weapon?
On the gangway on the side of the ship. I suspect the murderer tried to drop it into the sea. He would have stood close to the railing to let it fall unseen.
And since he doesn't know the ship, he had bad luck and dropped it right onto the gangway.
Indeed. And do you find that probable?
Not a bit.
Neither do I.
Tipo di arma.
What kind of a gun is it?
A pistol, a Luger 08.
Antique.
Manufactured a million times during and after the First World War. Austrian model. The owner is David Kreutzer, the violinist. We found him tonight totally drunk on the bow of the ship. He confirmed that it's his gun, but he claims that it was stolen from him.
Fingerprints?
Nothing. But it's worth mentioning that the clip was missing 2 bullets.
And it's definitely the murder weapon.
The ballistic tests are incomplete. Actually, I've been waiting far too long for the bullet recovered from the corpse. Pay the good doctor a visit, Zellner, and see that he does his job.
About the bullet, here it is.
Excellent. Give it to me. As I suspected, a 7.65 Parabellum Luger.
Però non credo che il violinista sia
Don't you want to
l'assassino.
examine it in more detail?
When I have time. For now, though, we can assume that we have the murder weapon. There can't be too many antique Luger 08 pistols on board.
May I take a look at the Baroness's cabin?
We already searched it thoroughly.
Sure. But what about now, by daylight?
Yes, fine, it can't hurt. Here, take this with you.
Thanks. I'll let you know if I find anything important.
But only then, please. I'm very busy.
Of course.
Il ladro gioielli è anche assassino?
You think that the jewel thief is the murderer?
Our friend would have needed another key to open the safe and steal the second eye, the one the Baroness was carrying. At least, that's what we implied.
What do you mean?
The Baroness was famous for her forgetfulness. I convinced her to give me the third key. It seems safer for the eye.
The thief searches the Baroness's cabin looking for the third key.
She returns from the saloon earlier than expected.
Surprises him, and he can't allow her to identify him.
He imprisons her until the coast is clear, and then shoots her.
And thus, the thief becomes a murderer.
But still doesn't have all the keys.
Ok, quindi la chiave adesso ce l'ha l'ispettore. Il corvo ladro di gioielli.
Do you really think that the Raven is behind all this?
He wrote the letter that was on the safe in the train. Without the letter, we wouldn't have opened the safe and the bomb wouldn't have exploded.
But it doesn't seem like him, does it? The Raven was famous in part because he never hurt anyone, much less killed anyone, during a burglary.
It's his handwriting, and he called me Nico. No one else does that. I chased that man across Europe for years. It is him. It has to be him.
But the evidence...
Enough.
Evidentemente ha cambiato modus operandi il corvo. Cassaforte.
Are you sure that there's no bomb inside this time?
Professor Lucien locked it in front of an audience, and it will be opened for the first time in Cairo.
Let's hope so.
It would take hours to crack it, and you'd need heavy machinery.
Or the keys.
Or the 3 keys, that's right.
Violinista.
Do you believe the violinist?
He'll be the first person I question. He claims he can't remember anything from the last few hours. Says he drank a bottle of schnapps.
He was on the train and he doesn't have an alibi. His drunkenness could be a smokescreen.
He fits the profile. He travels a lot, has access to high society. Could be interesting.
I'll be on my way. I want to find out who gave me the drugged champagne.
Good idea.
Inspector Legrand, are you okay? Maybe you should take a break.
I can sleep once I've caught the Raven. Goodbye, Constable.
Be seeing you. Legrand is risking not just his career, but his health as well on his hunt for the Raven. He's working like a demon. Maybe that's why he caught the Raven and no one else.
Vabbè, Legrand è un po' come Zenigata con l'Open. Ok, allora adesso vediamo dove possiamo andare. Magari, visto che di qua non si può andare da nessuna parte, qua che ha la bustina delle prove. Saliamo su. Sali le scale. E andiamo là nel salone, nel bar. Allora, vediamo cosa si può fare qui. Esci dal bar, no. Che qua ragazzi bisogna controllare tutto. Guarda il capitano Conti.
Captain DeConti is sitting at the bar again. He gave me the glass of champagne last night.
Esamina il secchiello del ghiaccio.
The alcoholic drinks and everything that goes with them is top-notch on this ship.
Apre il secchiello.
Fresh ice and tongs. They could be useful.
E prendiamo le pinze. Non so cosa vi servono, però...
What is the meaning of this?
Cosa?
Are even the police light-fingered nowadays?
I need this tool for a criminal investigation.
Well then, why didn't you say so? So, how are you getting along? Can I be of any help?
Actually, you could answer a few questions.
Champagne avvelenato. Vabbè, cominciamo con eventi della scorsa notte.
What was your experience of last night?
Oh, terrible. Dinner was fantastic. Everyone was excited about having a pleasant drink under the stars. And then this.
You were in the saloon all night long.
As the captain, I have to care for my passengers. After you and the others rushed out, I tried to maintain a festive atmosphere. But when the alarm goes off, I lose the battle.
Allora... teniamolo per ultimo lo champagne avvelenato. Baronessa.
How was the Baroness?
She really surprised me. After she was so unapproachable at the reception and didn't show her face for the entire afternoon, I was afraid she was one of the bores and bourgeoisie. But then she arrived in the early evening in the best of moods. Already had a few...
Che era alcolizzata la Baronessa.
Did she say anything to you?
She asked me where Legrand's cabin was. I told her, then invited her to come for drinks in the evening. I said it would be great fun. The whole ship will be there, and you don't want to miss that, I told her.
And then?
She seemed to like the idea. She smiled, and then left again for a few minutes. Then she came back and seemed very happy. We drank a toast to life.
Baronessa stanca.
But at some point she didn't feel well anymore?
She overdid it a bit. She suddenly started to swoon and almost spilled her drink. I asked her if she wanted to rest for a moment in her cabin. At first, she didn't want to. She definitely wanted to stay in the saloon. But then she realized that she really did need to lie down. We left together. You know the rest of the story.
Champagne avvelenato.
Did everyone drink from the same bottle of champagne last night?
There was more than one bottle, if that's what you mean. There were quite a few guests, and the event lasted several hours.
The last bottle of champagne, the one the Baroness drank from, did anyone else drink from it?
Certainly.
We have reason to believe that the champagne was drugged.
Incredible. But wouldn't that have made everyone drowsy?
Not if it was only the Baroness's glass that was drugged.
I see. That's possible. On a night like that, many glasses are filled and emptied. There are several stewards, many guests. No one keeps track of every glass and every bottle.
A few drops in a glass?
Yes, it's certainly possible.
Il mio bicchiere.
The glass you handed me last night. Where did you get it?
Ah, I understand. You think your glass was poisoned as well?
Did you pour it yourself?
No. I saw that you weren't doing so well and wanted to rescue the situation. I took the first available glass and I give it to you.
Was it on the table?
No, I hurry over to you, together with Dr. Gebhardt, who... Of course, he had the glass in his hand. He was looking around for a place to set it down, so that he could examine you. I took it from him.
And gave it to me?
I'd like to apologize for that, but you look so worse for the wear, and I just wanted to comfort you. I didn't think of looking for a new glass for you.
So the doctor had the drugged glass in his hand.
Allora, a parte il fatto che se stai male tu dai l'acqua alle persone, non dai l'alcol, però vabbè, dettagli. Quindi volevano avvelenare il dottore. Allarme.
Is it possible to find out where the alarm was set off?
I'm afraid not. There are alarms all over the ship.
I saw that they're sealed. Can't we just check whether the seal is broken?
I'm afraid they're gonna be missing on a lot of alarms. You know, this is an old ship, and over the years...
So, you're saying that the alarms haven't been regularly maintained?
I'll inform the crew immediately, of course.
Of course.
Anche il capitano, secondo me, qualcosa la nasconde.
What can you tell me about the passengers?
Oh, not that much, I'm afraid. I wanted to get to know them properly at the reception. In most cases, I just shook hands with them as they boarded the ship. There are a few regulars on board, and after dinner, I had a conversation with Mr. Kreutzer, a talented violinist, and Lady Westmacott. But you already know them from the train.
It seems like there aren't that many passengers on board.
These bloody airplanes are making our lives miserable. Can you imagine? Grown men prefer to jam themselves into a narrow metal coffins instead of enjoying the fresh sea air on a ship.
It's all about saving time.
It shouldn't be about how much time it takes to get from A to B, but about how you spend that time. What you experience.
Effettivamente non ha tutti i torti. Cioè, è come si spende quel tempo. Poi ragazzi, le crociere sono bellissime. Se non l'avete fatta la crociera, fatevela perché sono veramente belle. Allora, a questo punto, vabbè, le di coso non ci interessa in questo momento. Andiamo nella cabina della baronessa e andiamo ad indagare. Tanto c'è dato anche fuori delle prove, quindi infrangi i sigilli.
This is the first murder scene I've ever set foot in.
Allora, da dove possiamo iniziare? Inizierei da qua, dal mobile. Visto che sta già qua il puntatore del mouse.
A tape recorder. Must go with the built-in speakers. Probably part of the cabin's furnishings.
Esamina il
The
registratore.
tape recorder is older than the hills, but it was once very expensive. Top of the range. And it doesn't come cheap. Strange. There's only one reel. And it's the wrong one. No. No sign of the original reel.
Posso prenderla?
A reel made by Zeibling. I know the brand. Zeibling's tapes can be overwritten many times without losing quality. They're used in offices so that executives can record messages for the secretaries on the same tape over and over again. But they're not good for much else. They're robust, but they don't offer much in terms of sound quality.
Magari è stato registrato qualche cosa. Esamina il vaso. Vabbè, qui non c'è nient'altro. No, ok, vai col vaso.
A big, ugly, and impractical vase. If it had a wider opening, one could at least use it as an umbrella stand. can't see anything. Wow, heavier than it looks.
Sì, però metti dei guanti a toccare le cose.
Ah,
Che sta? Ah, che sta?
why were the down feathers tossed in the vase?
Ah, queste.
Or is there anything else in there? There may be something else in the vase, but the neck is too narrow to reach in with my hand.
Scusa, le pinze che abbiamo preso?
Could work. There's something in there. Ah. Someone stuffed this in the vase.
Della stoffa. Che cavolo è?
Looks like it's been used to muffle a gunshot. If this isn't an important discovery, I don't know what is.
Oh, ok.
Legrand, here I come.
Però aspetta, esamina il letto.
There's still blood on the mattress. The sheet and the blanket have already been removed. To analyze them, I suppose. Nothing.
Ok, vediamo di qua se c'è qualche cosa. Valigia.
Apparently, the Baroness didn't have time to unpack her bags. Or rather, didn't have time to tell her butler to unpack them for her. Sifting through all that would take ages. But here, the Baroness's handbag. Ah.
Quando fa ah qualcosa l'abbiamo trovata.
A small leather-bound book. 1964 is engraved on it. This must be the Baroness's diary.
Leggi il diario.
Let's see. Yes, it's a diary, all right. Difficult to read. No entry from yesterday. A brief, sober description of what she's done recently. Met Morris, arranged benefit concert for renovation of Louvre Southeastern Wing, Times photo shoot for Eye of Sphinx, BM, poor excuse for photographer, too fidgety.
Ma non credo ci sia nulla di interessante nel diario.
This entry looks strange. The handwriting is shaky, difficult to
No,
read.
forse c'è
Dreamt
qualcosa.
of Bobby. Yesterday would have been his birthday. Next week, Jay's.
Forse qualcosa l'abbiamo trovata.
The notepad has the ship's emblem on it. I suppose all the first-class cabins have them.
E che devo fare? Aspetta, devo ricalcare. Ispettore si faccia trovare al bar alle 22. C'è un assassino a bordo e io svelerò il suo nome. Baronessa.
It says, Inspector, be in the saloon at 10 p.m. There is a murderer on board and I will expose him. B. The Baroness seems to have known the murderer, and that means that the Raven can't be the murderer. He never killed anybody. Legrand probably never got the message, otherwise he'd have said something.
Qua c'è l'allarme.
Another alarm. It was tripped at some point. The seal is broken. But there's no way of telling whether it happened yesterday or 5 years ago.
Va bene ragazzi, l'armadio portatile sta da fare.
The most unportable portmanteau I've ever seen. A
Esamina.
portable bar is more like it. Must be hard work transporting this big, heavy thing halfway around the globe. And the Baroness was lucky that the other freight cars were only lightly damaged by the explosion. An impressive piece, but I don't think it'll get me...
Vabbè, qui non c'è niente. Allora possiamo tornare dall'ispettore e consegnare le prove. Il maggiordomo. Vabbè, no, andiamo dall'ispettore adesso.
A singed pillowcase is proof that there must have been a second gunshot. Inspector?
Can't you knock?
I didn't realize. I'm really...
I'm not getting anywhere. I'm going to question each passenger individually. Anyone without an airtight alibi will be checked for gunshot residue.
But, Inspector...
People trip up when you put pressure on them, Constable Zellner. The Raven is nervous. He's changed his methodology and become a murderer. I'll see it in his eyes. After you.
But, Inspector Legrand...
Però vedi, anche l'ispettore qualcosa secondo me la nasconde.
We have no proof that the Raven and the murderer are the same person.
You may not know it, but I do. I will catch him, with or without your help.
O è perché è nervoso? Non lo so.
I don't believe it. What's gotten into him? Oh, well. It makes no sense to tell him about my theories if his opinion is already set. I need evidence. Or better yet, the murderer. I also need his lab if I'm going to get anywhere. I need to get in there somehow. And I really need to talk to the stowaway. He may have information, and the inspector will just ignore him, since he's too young to be the Raven.
Però non posso entrare qua dentro. Vediamo.
Legrand locked the door. The lock isn't especially secure. If I had a wire or something like that, I could probably pick it.
Quindi dobbiamo fare i ladri anche qui. E parliamo col maggiordomo.
The Baroness's butler looks like he didn't get much sleep. I would describe his facial expression as worried. Hello, Mr. Inch.
Oh, Constable, hello.
You look the worse for wear. It must be terrible for you.
Quite terrible. No one will hire me now.
Excuse me?
My mistress was murdered. Would you hire a butler who's been mixed up in a murder?
But if it turns out that you're not guilty...
If. But what if not? Who else would they blame? There are no gardeners on this ship.
I understand your problem. Under these circumstances, I'm sure you'd answer some questions that could help clear your name, wouldn't you?
Of course.
Vabbè, ma non è lui l'assassino. Comunque, facciamole un po' di domande e vediamo cosa otteniamo.
Did you notice anything suspicious last night?
No, sir. After the Baroness went to the saloon, I went to the forecastle. I was there until the alarm went off. I went to the side deck and arrived shortly after Professor Lucien and Miss Miller. We found you and Inspector Legrand there. You were unconscious, and the inspector asked us to take care of you.
Colpo di pistola. Anzi no, consumo di alcol della Baronessa.
The Baroness seemed to be pretty drunk the last time I saw her.
Is that so?
Does that surprise you? Did the Baroness not drink?
Oh, yes, she drank. It was no secret.
I understand. How serious was her habit?
Serious enough, sir.
Was she under any medical supervision?
Certainly not, sir. She adamantly refused to see a doctor. Like so many elderly women, she had a distinct aversion to hospitals and the like.
Colpo, anzi no, cabina rovistata. Tanto comunque le faremo tutte, quindi penso sia uguale quale facciamo prima.
The Baroness's cabin seems to have been ransacked.
Indeed, sir, by the Baroness herself.
Really?
She was searching for something the entire afternoon.
And did she find it?
I think she did, sir, yes. She was in high spirits when she finally left her cabin.
You wouldn't happen to know what she was looking for, would you?
I'm afraid not.
Una donna ordinata?
Would you describe the Baroness as orderly?
Well, she always had a lot of responsibilities, sir.
That doesn't answer my question.
She used to take a lot of luggage on journeys, and I helped her keep track of it as best I could. She was always very angry when she couldn't find something.
What about the photos and the documents I saw in her cabin?
I really don't know. They were out of bounds to me, sir. Memories from the war, I'd say. They meant a lot to her.
Lavoro per la Baronessa.
How long had you worked for the Baroness?
6 months, sir.
Only 6 months. I always thought that butlers stayed with their employers for decades.
Those decades have to start at some point, Constable. Her former butler wasn't able to fulfill his duties any longer. Gout, sir.
I understand.
I took on his duties and hoped for a secure position for the next 20 years.
Braccio? In che senso braccio?
May I ask what happened to your arm?
A souvenir from the war, sir.
Doesn't it hinder your work?
Yes, sir. Obviously.
I didn't mean to offend you.
The Baroness had a soft spot for disabled veterans. I think she'd been through a lot herself.
Tempo
You said you were
libero.
on the forecastle. It sounded like the Baroness let you have the rest of the night off.
Not entirely, sir. One of the crew informed me that the Baroness wanted to be roused at 10:15.
Right. Why was that?
I suppose that she wanted to toast the success of the journey with the captain and the other passengers.
She hadn't intended to take a nap then.
That was not her way, sir. She had a lot of spirit, shall we say, when it came to social engagements and a glass or two of champagne.
Colpo
The
di pistola.
gunshot just before the alarm went off. Did you hear it from the forecastle?
No, just the alarm, sir.
I think that's all for now.
Please, sir, find the murderer. You have to clear me of all suspicion.
Amico mio, faccio il possibile. Comunque dobbiamo trovare un modo per entrare dentro la cosa di Lengard. Vai sul ponte laterale. Vai verso il castello di Prua. Cioè, tu così vuoi fare la polizia? Cioè, stai dormendo, Oliver? Ma che cacchio?
What do you want?
Inspector Legrand is questioning the first of the passengers in the saloon.
And?
It will be hours before he gets to the stowaway.
And?
We'll save time if I question him.
We'd also save time if you stopped asking me the same things over and over again. I will not let you in. What time is it, by the way?
Got an appointment?
No, but I'm hungry.
Go and get yourself something. I'll mind the door in the meantime.
Aha. You could bring me something, though.
Senti, se ne occupi da solo.
Go and get your food yourself. I have better things to do.
Oh, yeah? Like unmasking a murderer? I'm sure you're up to it. Judging by your age and rank, you must have solved loads of spectacular cases in the past.
No, I was sidelined and spent my days sitting on my behind. Does that sound familiar to you?
Vabbè, sì, torna a dormire. Esamina l'attrezzatura per lo shuffleboard.
Matt is keeping himself busy with that strange game. He seems to be okay again, but I think he'd be running around all over the place if he'd really come to terms with what happened on the train. I wonder if this game is an advanced version of bocce. Maybe the inventor realized that it's difficult to play ball games on a boat and came up with an alternative.
Parla con Matt.
Hello there, partner.
Hi.
Are you all right?
Uh-huh.
Allora, come va? Vabbè, cominciamo col come va.
Have you recovered from our adventure?
Mm-hmm. Mr. Zellner.
Hmm?
What's going on?
What do you mean?
Everybody's acting so strange. And there's tape across that door. I saw that in a movie once.
You don't have to be worried.
Is it about the man from the train?
It might be about the thief, yes.
Haven't you caught him yet?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Professor Lucen, che sarebbe questo qua. Con le... Ah, praticamente sta... Bello, il professore ci sta parlando con tua madre.
Your mother and Professor Lucien seem to be on very good terms with each other. Don't you like him?
Don't know.
He seems to be very nice.
I guess.
Lady Westmacott is all by herself in the saloon. Maybe you'd like to visit her later.
Sure. The lady tells exciting stories.
I know. She's my favorite writer.
She told me that it's not much fun to write detective novels. She'd rather write something else, but her fans always want the same thing.
They made her rich and famous.
I told her to write what she wants to write. If it's good, someone will buy it. And if not, at least she had fun writing it. Then she smiled and nodded. She said it was a good idea.
Il gioco.
What are you playing there?
I'm playing shuffleboard. At least I'm trying to.
Never played it before.
It's easy. Professor Lucien explained it to me.
And who won?
We didn't play.
You didn't want to play with him, did you? Do you want to play a game with me?
Sure.
E come si gioca? Comincia le regole.
I think you'll have to explain the rules to me first.
Okay, you play with the blue pucks and I play with the red ones. You have to push the pucks with this stick into the zone over there and score as many points as possible.
Sounds easy. How many pucks do I have?
6. Now here comes the kicker. First it's your turn, then mine, and so on. But everyone is allowed to shoot the other person's pucks out of the zone.
Ok.
Then let's
Vabbè,
get
come le
started.
bocce
Oh
praticamente.
yeah. What are we playing for?
I thought we'd just play for fun.
That's boring. We have to bet something. Otherwise it isn't fun.
You English people.
So I'll bet my brand new slingshot. And you?
I don't want to gamble.
How about ice cream in Cairo?
Okay. If I win, I get the slingshot. If I lose, I get an ice cream in Cairo.
Hey! Never try to cheat Matt Miller. So, what do you say? Ice cream versus slingshot?
All right. Let the games begin.
Ma perderemo malissimo. Allora, proviamoci. Boh, meno 10. Come meno 3? Dai, che ok, ok, me l'ha spinto, buono, buono. Dai che forse vinciamo. No, troppa potenza. Smircio a morire. Perfetto. Ho vinto!
That's it.
Oh, man.
The athlete wins the day.
One more time.
No, that's enough for me.
All right. Here,
Are you sure?
gambling debts are debts of honor.
Bravo ragazzo.
I'll give it back to you
Non
when
so
I
cosa
don't
faccio con
need
la
it
fionda,
anymore,
però sicuramente
okay?
tornerà
Okay.
utile.
But make sure my mom doesn't catch you with it. She thinks it's dangerous.
Ok. Magari vediamo cosa si può fare con la fionda. Spara l'agente Oliver, mi sembra un po' eccessivo. Ah, spara la bottiglia di acqua con la fionda. Magari potrei usarla qua.
All right.
Ow! 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 Ah! Hey, Zola, what in blazes was that?
What?
Something hit me!
You mean someone shot at you?
Yes, well, no, I don't know. Didn't you notice anything?
I was riveted by the fantastic view. We Swiss aren't used to seeing the horizon like this.
Mo alzati e vai a prendere l'acqua.
And my bottle's broken too. Oh, I don't believe this.
Beh, frammenti. Perché non si è alzato?
The bottle is nothing more than broken glass in a puddle. If Constable Oliver gets thirsty now, he'll be in a bind. I should help out.
Ah, devo fargli venire sete. E come faccio a fargli venire sete? Proviamo a parlargli.
What's the matter now? Did you bring me something to eat?
Ah, cibo. Eh sì, lo facciamo mangiare. In questo modo gli verrà sete.
So, what do you want to eat?
Oh, anything. An apple or something like that.
Leave it with me.
Yeah, thanks.
Ok. Raggiungiamo il bar e portiamoli da mangiare. Qua c'è l'ispettore che sta indagando.
Mr. Kreutzer, come on, you have to give me a bit more. You're the only one who was on the train and who has no alibi for last night.
As I said, I was in my cabin.
Are you sure that it was your cabin and not the Baroness's?
Legrand will question the guests, one after another. But if he doesn't get the answers that he wants to hear, it could become unpleasant for them.
Vediamo di prendere il cibo a quello. Prendi qualcosa da mangiare.
Whatever Constable Oliver wants, he's getting ham and eggs.
Prosciutto e uovo, così aumenta la sete.
Just a pinch of salt for our friendly
Fantastico.
constable. Good. Constable Oliver.
Huh?
Ham and eggs, piping hot.
Oh, I shouldn't really.
I don't see anyone here who'd rebuke you. It was a hard night.
Yeah, true. Oh, delicious. Just enough salt. Oh, that was good of you. Cheers.
You don't expect me to wash your dirty dishes as well, do you?
Oh, of course not, Your Majesty. Could you bring me something to drink? Those ham and eggs were pretty salty.
I'm sorry. I have to proceed with my investigations. Goodbye.
Mo ti alzi, te la vai a prendere.
Let's see how long he can resist his thirst.
A posto.
Not long at all. Nervous? I would be too in your position.
Allora, chi sei?
Who are you?
My name is Adil. And you are?
Constable Zellner. Why did you sneak onto the ship, Adil?
I wanted to go back home.
You're Egyptian?
There's no work for me in Italy. I want to see my family again.
And since you don't have money, you stowed away.
So what if I did?
È stato lui a colpirmi. Accento.
It's hard for me to believe a single word of your story.
Because I'm a foreigner?
Because you seem to have learned our language in the space of a day. Accent-free.
Believe what you want.
È stato lui a colpirmi?
So, it was you who knocked me out.
Me? Never.
No? Where were you when I was attacked?
Well, I couldn't take anything with me on this trip, so I snuck into the kitchen and took some canned goods.
Interesting. And how do you know when I was attacked?
Well, I thought it was yesterday, shortly before we set sail.
I take this bump personally.
Omicidio.
What were you searching for on deck last night?
I was hiding the whole evening. I wanted to go out and get some fresh air, see the stars. But then suddenly, they were looking for me.
Were you in one of the cabins?
No.
Did you see anyone on the deck or on the roof?
No.
And after we arrested you?
The English policeman put me in this cell. Then he left. I've been here ever since.
And you didn't notice anything along the way?
No, nothing.
Sparo.
What about the gunshot? Didn't you hear it?
Yes. The English policeman had already arrested me. We heard a bang and looked around.
And then?
Then, the Bobby was in a hurry to get rid of me. He almost pushed me down the stairs and locked me in here. He left, and then a short time later, the alarm went off.
Constable Oliver wasn't with you anymore when the alarm went off?
No. I was scared that the ship would sink with me sitting here like a rat in a trap.
Distrazione.
Who paid you to distract us?
What?
You went for a walk around the deck and let yourself be seen. Everyone goes off hunting you, and in the meantime, your partner shoots the Baroness in peace.
No, I didn't do anything. I didn't want to distract anyone. I just want to go home.
You're a liar, and a bad one at that.
But sir, I'm telling the truth.
And I'm the Raven. Inspector Legrand will deal with you. He's lying like a cheap rug. But he probably doesn't know anything about the murder. Very disappointing. So I have to keep searching. What interests me most is the shot that was fired here in the cargo hold last night.
Va bene. Allora ragazzi, io direi di fermarci qui per questo episodio. Voi mi raccomando, come sempre, spuliciate, mettete like, iscrivetevi al canale se ancora non l'avete fatto, attivate la campanellina. Sotto nei commenti fatemi sapere cosa ne pensate di questa serie, se avete già le vostre idee, le vostre supposizioni. E noi ci rivediamo sempre qui sul canale con un nuovo video. Un saluto da Mizaragaret. Ciao, valeu!